Hey everybody, welcome to the National Signing Day podcast. I'm your host, Coach Martin, and today's podcast is titled Winning Your Showcases. So I actually get asked this question a lot. Coach, should I go to showcases? Should I go to camps? Is it a big waste of time? Sometimes I hear you, speaking, maybe not totally positive on it. Give me your take. So I'm going to give you my take right now. So I think showcases could be a good thing, but how most people do them, they are not. So I'm going to kind of give you my take on it, and I'm going to give you some steps on how to do it to make it a good thing. So a lot of times what happens is athletes will just go to showcases, right? There's no rhyme or reason. There's one that's going to pop up in your area, you're going to go, or maybe there's one in another area that you have to, pay a lot of money to travel to. You got to pay for the showcase. You're hoping to stand out in front of 500 other kids that are there. Sometimes the schools that are fit for you aren't even represented at the showcase. So if you have no plan behind it, it's not going to work for you. And I'm going to give you a plan. But before I give you the plan, I want to share a story, which I didn't even know about this story until about 3 months ago. But I remember watching television, and Ray Lewis, I think we all know Ray Lewis. He's probably, arguably one of the best middle linebackers, whether you like him or not, that's ever played the game. He was ferocious. He was amazing on the field. And I remember he was telling a story that in high school, he wasn't even recruited, which I can't even believe. This is a Hall of Famer, probably one of the best that's ever played the game. He wasn't even recruited until the last game of the season. They were playing in the playoffs, and a college coach went to the game to watch somebody on the other team. And it just so happens that Ray turned out to be the best player on the field that day. And the rest is history, right? So it's just interesting how that happens. So in this case, the reason Ray didn't get recruited is because of obscurity. They didn't know who he was. And if you're going to a lot of showcases and camps, odds are you haven't been recruited. And the same with you. People don't know who you are. So going to showcases could be a good thing. And I'm going to show you right now how to do that. So if you're going to go to a showcase, the first thing you need to do is make sure that the schools are going to be there are on your board. So you should have a recruitment board already where you have schools on the list. So as an example, let's say you have 10 schools that you're targeting. We know that 7 or 8 of them should be your target schools, right? One of them should be a stretch school and a couple of them should be fallback. But if none of the schools are even going to be represented at the showcase, maybe you should go to another showcase. So first and foremost, make sure that the right schools are a fit. Or let's say if it's a showcase where it's all D1, and maybe you're really a D3 talent level at this current state, you shouldn't be going to that showcase. So 1, make sure the right schools are going to be there, the right schools for you. Number 2, when you are registered and now you're fixing to go to the showcase, do a little work up front. I call it homework. Find out what schools are going to be there, connect with those schools, find out what coaches are going to be represented, because odds are the head coach ain't showing up. Ain't going to happen. A lot of times the recruiting coordinator ain't showing up. Ain't going to happen. It's usually an assistant or an assistant to an assistant. But that's okay. So find out who's going to be there, right? Reach out to them before. On Haystack, on the software, you can literally use the software to reach out to find out actually who's there. But find out who's there and set up a meet and greet. So now you have a meet and greet where you can actually, go and have a conversation with this particular coach while you're at the showcase, which I promise you that no one else does that. That will be gold right there, right? So connect with the coaches that are actually going to be there. Set up a meet and greet. And finally, the third piece of advice is, listen, if there's 500 athletes there, it is going to be difficult to stand out, to be the best of the 500. Hopefully you are, but if you're not, there's other ways you can stand out. And one way is win after the whistle. So, they're going to have you do drills, and that's part of the thing, but make sure that you stand out outside of that. Well, Coach, what are you talking about? What does that even mean? Well, what I mean is, how's your body language, right? When you're on the sideline, are you paying attention? Are you goofing off, right? Are you cheering on the other guys that are there, the other girls that are there, right? Are you cheering them on? Are you encouraging people that just got done? So if they're having you run, right, and maybe you run and now the next person runs after you, encourage that person when they get done, right? Be that person off the field that 100% stands out. That's something that you 100% can control. So make sure that you win after the whistle. So 1, go to showcases that are going to be a fit for you, that have the right schools. Key. Number 2, connect with those coaches. So find out who's going to be there, which schools are going to be there. Reach out to the coaches, find out what coaches are going to be there. Then reach out to those coaches and set up a meet and greet. That way you get to meet them and you get a couple minutes with them either before or after. And 3, make sure that you win after the whistle. Stand out, not just on the field, but outside of the field as well. Because here's the deal. Coaches want people not only that are going to do well while they're playing, but that they're going to do well and that they can count on when you're not playing. Super key. So if you actually stick to those 3, you attend the showcases, I promise you, you could be that one athlete that actually uses showcases to actually win your recruitment. So listen, if you have any other questions, anything at all, feel free to visit us on our web at www.nationalsigningdaypodcast.com. And until next week, I'm Coach Martin. I am out.